is a proud corporate partner of Texas Tech Athletics. Today, it's Texas Tech and Kansas State. And now, with all the pregame analysis from the best, this is KMAC Red Raider Nation's Countdown to Kickoff, sponsored by Terry County Tractor.
Texas Tech unveiling today's uniform on Twitter earlier this week. Red Raiders breaking out the red helmets for the first time this season. They also go with the white tops and white pants, changing it up from the red, white, red that they wore in that tough showing a couple of years ago.
David Collier, big uniform fan.
Yeah, you're the uniform person. All right, a couple of grad transfers hoping to make a positive change in the defense when they take the field against Kansas State later this afternoon. Colin Schooler and A&M defensive tackle, or defensive lineman rather, Tyree Wilson, showing plenty of potential in their debuts against Texas last week. Schooler had 7 tackles against the Longhorns, and Wilson put plenty of pressure on Sam Ellinger, came away with his first of what the coaching staff will be mini sacks in a Red Raider uniform.
It's going to be exciting to watch his development, but he is definitely a guy that we can impact the quarterback with and do some things, obviously, as we move forward.
I think Tyree has earned more playing time, and we'll see how this week goes. And just in terms of that rotation, Tyree was absolutely in his element. He was not out of place. You saw some of those pressures. I thought Colin Schooler played well and played better, actually got better as the game went on. The way he played, just listening to the defensive staff going through the tape yesterday, he played better in the second half than he did the first half. So I think, he's going to keep getting better.
Another area they hope to keep getting better in is that receiving core. The group, though, not a whole lot to improve on.
Yeah.
10 different guys catch a pass against Texas. 3 of them, Eric Izukanma, TJ Vasher, Keyshawn Carroll, over 70 yards. And they combined to catch all 5 receiving touchdowns in the game as well. But afterwards, Wells maybe just as impressed by a few of the guys who didn't get into the end zone for 6.
They played well. I thought Riggin had some big catches, especially that last series on a couple of deep out routes. Jalen Polk continues to play older than he is. He doesn't look like a freshman. I think our young receivers, you saw Miles Price get in there today. Miles showed up. The moment was not too big for Miles, but Keyshawn, Eric, TJ, they've been very consistent, and I've been very pleased with them.
Yeah, that group helped Texas Tech score the most points in the Matt Wells era last week. Now face Kansas State defense that has given up 35 points in each of its first 2 games. But those Wildcats showing last week they can shut down a high-powered offense when they need to. Picked off Oklahoma's Spencer Rattler 3 times. OU scored just 14 second-half points, and the Sooners were shut out in the 4th quarter.
Those 4 down linemen and then the 2s that came in, they played hard. I thought they won. Their D-line won. They dominated up front. Thought they played very well.
Probably not going to offer up a lot of our screen game opportunities. They did that last year when we played them. Did a really good job of covering that up, giving us some areas, and we're going to have to run the football that way. And they changed coordinators from last year. But it's the guy that took over was on the staff. He'd been with him for a good while, so I think that there's a lot of carryover, a lot of continuity that way with some different wrinkles.
Fan of the selfie sack celebration?
Yeah, I guess. I'm not a big selfie guy. Look at me. All right, time for our final break here on Countdown to Kickoff. When we return, Mr. Selfie himself and I give you what to watch for in today's game. But first, it was a bitter cold day in Manhattan 2 years ago. Thankfully, I was not there when the Red Raiders made that trip. It was like freezing, below freezing. Ron Roberts joins us now with today's forecast from the Little Apple. Ron?
Well, it's going to really be a mild day for Texas Tech and K-State. The wind's not going to be much of an issue. Temperatures in the lower 70s through most of the game, which kicks off at 2:30. They expect those temperatures to drop just slightly by the end of the game. But no major precipitation events are anticipated for the Red Raiders and K-State football.